Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. It's Chamber check-in time. And today I get to introduce everyone to Heather Albert, certified financial planner, PhD, CLU, CHFC. I mean, Heather, you've got all the certifications that really shows your commitment to the field. Welcome to your Chamber check-in.
Thank you. Super excited to be here.
Well, Heather, I have worked with you for a long time. So I've been with the Chamber for almost 7 years now. And you were one of those first people that I met at like one of our mega marketing events. You walked in, I think you had crutches on. In fact, you've had crutches on a long time. Every time I see you, anyway, it was so good to see you at every ribbon cutting, at every grand opening. You're that type of person. You support the Chamber. But beyond that, with your profession, just the interactions that I had with you had me become a client of yours as well. So just to get that out there for everybody, Heather, you have been an amazing friend to the Chamber and a friend of mine. And I just appreciate everything you do in this community, first and foremost.
Thank you, Paul.
Absolutely.
The Chamber. As soon as I started my career with New York Life, I became a Chamber member and became an ambassador. So I love the ambassador program. I love the Chamber and what it does for us as business owners and how it is focused on helping Chamber members do business with other Chamber members so that we can all be successful.
That's the circle of life, right? In the Chamber world. Absolutely. Okay, now let's get down to a little bit about how you got your start with New York Life and why. Tell us a little bit about that story.
All right, I have a very interesting story. As you mentioned, I have a PhD. That PhD is in microbiology, so it's a world apart from the financial planning universe. I got into microbiology to be able to help people. That was my underlying drive to get my PhD. My dissertation was on drug-resistant Mycobacterium tuberculosis. That is the bacteria that causes tuberculosis. And I lived in the lab for a long time. Enjoyed what I did with microbiology. It was great to learn how to think outside the box and solve your own problems. Moved to Boise, Idaho. Couldn't use the degree. So I had to figure out what else do I want to do. And I had a personal experience. My dad got a brain tumor when he was 30. So I saw up close and personal what it means if you're not prepared for the what ifs. And every time my dad had to go onto that operating table, he was scared, number one, that he was going to die and the family would be in trouble. No one thinks at age 30 they are never going to be able to buy life insurance again.
Right.
And that's where he found himself. And so he was petrified every time he went into surgery, not just for his own health, but for the health of his family. Luckily for us, my dad was what the doctors called the Energizer Bunny. He lived 30 years with his tumor. So
wow.
Really extraordinary outcome, but it was eventually the tumor that killed him. And about the time I was making this career change, my dad became terminal and I had to decide, what am I going to do? And I recognized two things. One is everyone finds themselves in my dad's position at some point in time. And are you prepared or not? And I recognized that when my parents realized life insurance was no longer an option, they beefed up savings in other areas. They tried to protect themselves and prepare for the eventuality of what was going to happen. And I recognize that every day you can help people in the insurance and financial services industry and help them make choices that will help them get to their overall goals. So I started looking for who do I want to do that with and ended up getting connected with New York Life. The thing that I like most about New York Life is their focus on integrity. They were founded in 1845, so wow. They've been around 175 years this year. We've been in Idaho 145 years, so I've been here a long time. What shows most what I like about New York Life is what happened on 9/11. Those towers went down, and most insurance companies said it's an act of war or terror, we don't have to pay. New York Life CEO was on CNN 24 hours after it happened and said, we will pay every death claim submitted quickly and compassionately.
Wow.
Now, they could have sat back and waited, because for us to pay a death claim, you have to have a death certificate. To get a death certificate, you have to have a body. They weren't going to find most of those people. So New York Life actively petitioned the city and state, said, make it so we can declare these people dead so that we could pay these death claims.
Wow.
So really went above and beyond. And we have seen that multiple times in our office, where New York Life could have legally walked away from a claim and they paid it. So that's why I have New York Life as my safe company, because when they promise something, they follow through. And
Wow.
once I got here, I started realizing I wanted to be able to help people on multiple levels. So I got my certified financial planner designation and really help people with holistic planning as well as individual needs.
Wow, what a inspiring story. And now I know why you are aligned with that brand. Um, you know, you were talking about the legacy and the history of New York Life starting in 1845. Well, New York Life has been a member of the chamber since 1925.
Wow.
So again, that shows it's almost 100 years as a member of the chamber, and that's quite a big deal as well. So thank you for that story. And now, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? There's some other cool things about you that I want people to know, and what really kind of connected us. And maybe a little bit about the cycling, or the fact that when you're a client of Heather's, you get some phenomenal baked goods. Anyway.
So yes, as Paul and I were connected first through cycling. We're both road cyclists, and I do still continue to compete, not full time like I used to, but definitely enjoy competing. I must say it's nice if you have a bad race to know that Monday you get to go and do something that means something. And then, as Paul alluded to, one of the things that I do enjoy, I call baking my therapy. It's baking therapy is awesome. And so I enjoy sharing that with my clients and friends.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Obviously, let's talk about how important it is to be prepared for a rainy day. So, stay-at-home order happened. Restaurants shut down. Event shut down. And it caused a big ripple effect in our economy. And those that lost their jobs and didn't have any savings, you're thinking, how am I going to put food on my table? So tell us a little bit about some of the services that New York Life provides to help with maybe even just having some financial hygiene.
Definitely. One of the things that I focus on is educating people, because we all have this view of how life is going to be when it's perfect.
Right.
Nothing goes wrong, and you can get from point A to Z and everything will flow smoothly. But we forget that there are things like a pandemic or any other thing that can come into your life and radically change it. So preparing for those on a number of levels, we use what's called the financial foundation. And that includes things that New York Life offers and things it doesn't, but everyone should have 3 to 6 months somewhere safe like the bank. If you're interested in earning a higher interest rate, there are things like online accounts that you can get that will pay you a higher interest rate if you've got a huge chunk of change sitting there and it's your just in case money. We believe that you should have legal documents done. Again, I'm not an attorney, not an accountant, but everyone needs those legal documents. What if you ended up in the hospital unconscious for a couple of months? Who can handle your affairs legally? Do you have that paperwork in place? The other thing that's important to think about is having something in place if you have a disability. A lot of businesses do offer disability insurance. Are you opting into that? If something were to happen and you couldn't work for 3 months, are you going to be okay? What if it's longer? What if you have a horrific car accident and you're out for a couple of years? So, do you have those safety nets in place? Life insurance, if you have someone you love or care about or that depends on you, do you have the coverage you need? And then things like evaluating your home and auto insurance. Again, we don't do that, but the wrong time to find you have inadequate coverage is after you've been in a bad accident.
Right.
So it is really important to be proactive and at least yearly be reviewing your coverage. Another big thing we see, you have to fill out beneficiaries on bank account information, and they don't make you, you should. Same with your retirement accounts and your life insurance. Again, the wrong time to discover your ex is the one on your life insurance policy is when you die, because there's nothing that can be done at that point in time.
Oh my gosh.
Really important to look at that on an annual basis. And what I make my clients do, make sure beneficiaries are correct, because someone who may have been fabulous last year may all of a sudden be an unacceptable recipient of either IRA money or a death benefit.
So every year, every 5 years, kind of look at all that stuff. What's your suggestion?
Check in every year, because you don't know what has just changed. I mean, if you've just purchased rental properties or a new vehicle or other things, it's worth checking in and making sure coverage is up to date. And especially with beneficiaries, that is something, if it's going to pass by beneficiary designation, it does not matter what your will says.
Okay.
It goes by beneficiary designation. And so if, we don't like to think about those things, but one of your kids was going to be a beneficiary and now is a drug addict. Now's the time to get them out or get someone responsible in their behalf. Other things like that, if you've had someone who has become disabled and is relying on state money, you don't want them to receive a lump sum. So need to be looking at, do we need to now address legal issues and how we make that change? So a lot of things can happen year to year. Same thing with, did someone just pass away and you just got an inheritance? How do I need to be dealing with that? So, or did I just get a new job? Am I moving across the country? All of those things need to be evaluated as they come up, which amazingly a lot happens for a lot of people in a year's period of time.
Wow. So this is actually good timing for everybody out there who has a financial advisor, who doesn't, to connect with one, and put your stuff in order. And I tell you what, it doesn't feel like wait now, but like when you say, if this does happen, when it does happen, your weight will be a lot less and your anxiety will be a lot less, because you know that you've taken care of and crossed the boxes that you needed to cross. So that is great. That foundation piece that your company offers, kind of a checklist to stay keep your financial hygiene up. That's really good. Okay. We talked about a lot of different things, a lot of different products and services. And we talked a little bit about how you give your clients above and beyond service. And we talked about your partnership with the Chamber and why you value the ambassador program. So I think we covered a lot of different things, but one of the most important things is the person that you are, the person that anyone deals with on a financial advice platform. Make sure they're credible. Make sure that they're committed to their field, right? And Heather, you are the persona of committed to your field. So thank you for taking your time with us today. Is there anything else that you would like to tell the audience that's listening with us today?
The Chamber is awesome. If you aren't members of the Chamber, you should be. They fight for you in ways that or advocate for you in ways that you don't appreciate. And the Chamber is a wonderful way to get to know new businesses and things that are going on. I think the thing I love most about the ambassadors is I know what new businesses are in town and who to call when I have that specific need. And it's a great thing, and it is definitely worth building your business and being a part of the Chamber.
Oh man, that feels good. Thanks, Heather. Um, I hope that you can get out this weekend in this beautiful fall weather. It's a little chilly, but I'll be thinking about you on your road bike out there. And again, thanks for taking your time with me today and for what you do in this community and for your investment in this community.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend, Heather. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Bye.
Bye.